Good morning. It's now May and back to carry on with the cabin. I'm going to get some timber stain on the cabin itself, just on the ply. It will be covered in siding eventually, but until we decide what we want to go for and pull the trigger on buying all that, I'm just going to do what I can to try and protect it in the interim. So now that wood's protected a little bit better, I've had a look at filling in that gap at the front. This is just a sheet of 8mm polycarb. Get that fastened in, and then what I'd like to do is run a bit of trim in that join, maybe with a gasket. There we go. Looks like a 70s council building. It's exactly what we're going for. So I've just cut my missing batten, the one that I picked up too late, and threaded it in, and I'm just gonna fasten this in with this little L bracket. Put them in, a couple down the length of it, and then when I'm not on my own, I'll climb back on the roof and run some more fasteners into that as well. And then I'll do another batten here down the middle, because you can see where they overlap. They're actually not supported in that bit there. So I think just another one through there and we'll be golden. Well, that's in place. I've only put 4 brackets in, but I'm sure that would be more than enough really. I do have a lot more, so if I feel like it, I can fill in those gaps. But we're not exactly in tornado country, so I think we should be okay. So a bit of a bits a day, little bitty jobs. But you know, any progress is good progress. G'day. It's now the second weekend of May, and feeling really ill. It is self-inflicted, so I can't complain too much. I'm just gonna try and do as much as I can in terms of this bird blocking, filling in these gaps. Gonna try and get those wedge-shaped ply pieces cut as well, so we can get the sides completely done. And hopefully by the end of this weekend, all of that will be done, and the entire cabin will be completely closed in. I think I'll start with that centre batten. I'll get that cut to length and thread through. Alright, that's tied in now. I'll still wait for Luce to come down before I get on the roof again. It's not the way I want to go. So I guess I'll move on to filling these wedges in. Okay, back down on the Sunday, and I think we've got a fix for the bird blocking at the top of the front there. Luce is getting the stain on the new panels that I put up yesterday. If by the end of the day we can get this entirely boxed in and bird blocked, we'll be doing all right. That's blocked with brackets from that side. And we've just done sides up there. Not the most elegant solution, but it is blocked and flush on the other side. So it's pretty pretty.
The room with a view.
Alright, so another week in the books, and the cabin is now completely 100% sealed up. You still need to put a little bit of foam in between the roof sheets and the battens, but aside from that, it's done. It's closed in. Next week we're going to make a start maybe with the floor, see if we can get that on the go. And once the floor's in, then we can bring the bath and work on the plumbing. We did it. We did it. We did what we said we were going to do. Hello. What is it? Third weekend? Very soggy. I feel that winter's really set in now. That sill is letting quite a bit of water in, so it's quite important that I get that angled and start to shed water to the outside rather than to the inside. Really, I came down to have a go at the flooring. I don't really want to start putting that in if we're getting water into the cabin, obviously. Mate Gerald gave us these steps that he had at his place. He doesn't need any more. I think we'll probably get them to fit, so that's going to be super helpful. Thank you, mate. So it's dried out a little bit now, and I think I'm just going to have a go at giving this an angle. I brought a belt sander with me, so I'll just see if I can do it. It's going to be a bit brutal. It's across the grain. I think it's just going to splinter and chip at the edge. It's probably not going to be an even angle right the way across. All the things that are going to go wrong. I see them coming. I don't really have an option, I don't think. I have to give it a go. I don't think that's too bad, actually. Bit of a cup, but that was always going to be the case. I've got a smaller detail sander, so I'll get in and kind of smooth out these edges. But that's definitely got a downward tilt to it now. Hopefully it was just kind of coming in, sitting on that flat and then rolling in. If it's hitting the door, running down and then in, this won't really change much. There's some pretty horrible scratches from the belt sander. It's just too much of a grit leap between the two sanders, but it's not about aesthetics, is it? It just needs to keep the water out. I'll clean that up, but it's got a nice slope to it. So I've done just under half, I reckon, and the rain's rolling in, and I need to get the awning up and packed away, and it's just getting worse down here. I forgot to bring my Makita batteries, which means I've been able to use the generator just to use the jigsaw to cut all these. So I'm just going to cut it all off now. No point in spending all this diesel just for these little cuts. Tomorrow I'll bring the batteries and we'll do it with the cordless. But no, it's looking good. It's coming together. Happy with this. At least with all this rain, we'll get to see if this works or not. It needs a bit more shaving. Well, back on the Sunday. It is super cold. We've got thermals on. Lucy is about 5-10 minutes behind me. She'll be here in a minute. And it's rained a lot, so let's see if that trim to the sill worked. A little bit soggy. Now, I didn't oil it or stain it, so it's not going to be as water resistant as it was. Nope. Still pulling up. So that needs more work. Needs to be steep angle right to that far edge, I guess. Okay, so flooring's done. Actually went in all right. A couple of little mistakes here and there, but for the most part, it's spot on. It's really good, so happy with that. We're just gonna go and put some quarter round right the way around the edge now, and I'll tie it all in, make it a nice, neat finish. Just put this bit of trim around the door, completes it, looks so much better. We can either paint or stain that. And yeah, I'm just going to spend a bit of time working on that sill a bit more, and then maybe that'll be the door done. So door and floor. How cool. Just giving it all another sand, really taking it down. Probably about as much material as I'd want to remove from it, to be honest. So if that doesn't work, well, I don't know, maybe put a lip on the door or something. So that's another week done. Really happy with that, looks great. So really, next step's going to be trying to get the bath in there and start figuring out the plumbing. What are we doing?
Gonna move the bath. The trailer.
Alright, a bit of hard work, we got it in. Made a bit of a mess of it. We can touch that up. Alright, we've got the bath, and we're just taking the door off to increase the chances of getting it in. Trying to protect everything as best we can.
Nothing broke.
This was Lucy's genius idea. Bring the trailer up on pallets, so the height difference is nowhere near as bad as it would have been. Smart lady. we go. Taking a bit of a battering getting it here, but this will come clean. Not worried about that. A couple of scrapes on the green as well, we can touch that up. For the most part, that's pretty successful. So this is where it's going to go. And the shower will be at this end. So yeah, today we're going to try and mark out where the drain's going to go, cut that, maybe even run some pipes, get the feet on, which have also been tarted up, and our bath's in place. And this is the one who's masterminded it all. So I've never done any plumbing before, so it's all a bit new. The main issue is that we've got a joist just this side of the waist here. So we managed to find this elbow connector for this old fitting, which was lucky. So we're just going to run this elbow away from the joist and then straight down. We're going to put the feet on and then we'll see what heights we're working with the bath. Okay. No joists. Oh. Alright, so trying to give that a glue, and they're just so tight that I got this 10mm gap. I don't think it's a deal breaker. 10mm in the grand scheme of things, really not a big deal. We just eyeballed it anyway. It's not like it has to be in a perfect spot. There's not a whole lot of room to move here, so what we're going to do is put that down there, bring in the bath, prop these feet up, a bit of wood, chock them up, and then screw that onto the fitting, and remove the chocks, and hopefully that'll just lower down. So that drain pipe's fouling on the floor, probably saw, but there's just not enough clearance for that under there when the feet are on the ground. So what we're going to do is see if we've got some nice-ish looking timber that we can make 4 little platforms for, put them under the feet, and hopefully buy us the 10mm we need to make it nice. And just as I was saying that, is that it? 4 proper purpose-made cuts made. We're going to glue them together, cut them in half, glue them together, stack them.
So I've just created our little area where the humanure will go. You use an organic medium. Here we're just using straw that's actually left over from the straw bales from our wedding. So we've got heaps and heaps of those still. So basically empty out your composting toilet tub onto here and then just cover the top of it with more organic material, and then eventually, sort of maybe a year down the track or so, that will actually turn into usable compost, you know, for trees or whatever you want to use it for. Next time we're down, I'll fence this whole thing in with sort of heavy duty dog wire, so then nothing can kind of get into it and we can easily just tip over the fence into there. So yeah, another job done.
These are our little lifts that little pads. These in. So this will all get sanded again, get all these scuff marks off. But position-wise, very happy with that. How's that feel?
So good.
So door back on, cabin's complete. The measurements for the sink, happy with the bath. I think we're going to have that there. And we'll call it there. Alright, it's now Saturday the 31st of May, the last day of the month, and I've made a bit of a silly purchase. I was catching up with Mum and Dad on video call last weekend, and Dad told me that he'd made a silly purchase. He bought a lathe on a spur of the moment kind of decision, and obviously that got me looking on Marketplace, and wouldn't you know that where we live, around the corner, there was a lathe going for not a lot of money at all. So I said, I'll take that. And here we go to pick up a lathe. I don't need a lathe. So I've just picked up the lathe, and it is so much bigger than I thought. It took us about 45 minutes to get it on the trailer. He sold his Bobcat last week, so that should have been the last thing he sold. But yeah, I need to get the backhoe up and running, otherwise there's absolutely no way me and Luce are going to get this out ourselves. So now at the block, Luce greeted me with a nice cup of tea, and now we're going to have to figure out what to do with this. So here it is, not small. It is largely complete. We've just taken it apart to lighten it a bit. Enormous motor on this thing. I wasn't in the market and I wasn't really looking, but as you do, you kind of just have a glance on Marketplace, and it came up $200. And it's, you know, everything's functioning. There's no tail stock, and I assume a lathe of this size should have one. I can't find much out about Selfson lathes at all, so I don't know if it's something I can source or have to have something made. I don't know if these guides are going to be easy to match up to or not. There's a tooth missing here on either the forward or the reverse gear, one of the two. There is a bit of damage here right at the end of the guideways up by the chuck, which is a pig. Not where you want the damage to be. That's where you're going to be spending most of your time, really. So yeah, obviously something's gone awry at this point. I mean, the carriage is still fairly smooth. I think you can feel a little bit of a nick as you go over it. Might be something that can be filed out, maybe. We've got a new team member. This is Oscar. We're looking after him for a few months. Oscar. Deaf as a post. Luce is getting the sink mounted to the wall. Should go up there. I'm going to try and get that thing running, see if we can get this lathe out of the trailer. Let's see how lucky we are. I'm thinking of doing is using the forks, hopefully that'll be strong enough, and I'll take this side of the trailer off and just come in and try and get it under there. It's probably a really bad idea. There we go, another month down. Cabin's in great shape. Got that sink mounted, got a bath in, got the floor done, got the door finished. Plumbing's underway. Today was thrown a little bit with silly impulse purchases, dealing with that. But I think we've got some good momentum. We'll be back tomorrow to carry on. You won't see it until next month. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.